Hi, I'm Mark Delaney. I'm from Lucent Lighting. I'm the UK Sales Director. Today we're here at the Mondrian at Sea Containers in London to talk about Lucent as a company and this particular project being one of our most recent and superb projects in the UK.
I'm James Morris-Jones, International Sales Director from Lucent again.
When Michael Dunk first started the company, he saw a niche in the market with lighting designers. They're a fairly new trade, new career. And so he saw a gap in the market where he could actually go and target these guys. It's very big in the States. So he made a point of going out to America on a regular basis and selling the products and going to meet the designers and specifiers and actually coming up with solutions for these guys, not just in America, but worldwide.
Define ourselves by providing, for example, downlights, which we do very well, successfully, for a whole project. I think in essence.
Yeah, but it's just, if you take the project itself, we, as a manufacturer, we have a solution for most areas in one project. If you take the Mondrian here where we're sitting today, we're in the restaurant and we're in the bar area, but we did the restaurant lighting for there, we did the guest rooms, we did the corridors, so it's that project lighting solution that we can offer our clients, so it's almost a one-stop shop, as we say.
How did Lucent get involved with this?
Well, we work very closely with Isometrics Lighting Design, and it was their scheme, their design, and they brought us on board again because we had the right products for the right job. They had a particular brief and a type of downlight they wanted to use, lots of trimless, very minimal, low glare products, and if you go through our catalogue, all of our products there pretty much fit that bill. And being very versatile as a company, there were certain areas a bit tricky, low recessed voids, and we just were able to be flexible enough to give them the solution, so they didn't have to go elsewhere and get different downlight manufacturers and start making the project a little bit messy. But thankfully, yeah, we've worked with Isometrics on other projects, so it's just a good fit.
I think that's the key to it though as well, because a lot of people say, they like to use us because they don't just specify what's in the brochure.
Yeah.
They can actually go through and go, actually I like that, but can I have it slightly different? And by the way, on a project I have this height, can you adapt that fixture?
It will normally start from a standard product in the catalogue, and where the client will say, we like that, we want this, we want it different, we want it shallow, we want it bronze, pink, etc. And our designers in-house, our product designers, they will basically take that brief, meet with the designer if necessary, but then draw it up and naturally go from there.
I think the retail side is interesting because what we've always done is, we've worked with the designer, but also we work with the end user. Say Burberry's as a prime example. Mm-hmm. The designer is still very much involved in the process. It doesn't mean because they've done what they've done, they step away. We just work directly with the end user. We always make sure we're still involving every part of them in the process.
Yeah, we have to adhere to the regulations, and every project is slightly different. We still do, although the kind of regulations pushing everyone towards LED, we still do many projects halogen. So there is, and we still have an option where a lot of other companies have decided to stop halogen completely as a light source and focus on LED. If we did that, then we wouldn't pick up these other projects and inquiries that come along, especially for the Middle East, where they are catching up. But we still do plenty in the UK that's halogen.
We still do we actually do a lot of hospitality, like hotels, like the Shard, not far away from here. But also there is the point where we do a lot of high-end residential work.
Right.
When somebody's going to live in that home, so they've got to have the control. They might not need the high-end versatility you might get to a hotel, so we do have to think about there's different levels,
right,
of service and product direction. I think with the experience we've had working with lighting designers, you do pick up certain, skills. We're not lighting designers, but we like to think we know our product well, and we can obviously advise them what to use and what not to use.
If you kind of look at the size of the company we are, and we're still relatively small, you only have to walk around Frankfurt at Light and Build every 2 years and you see the amount of lighting companies there, and everyone is making a living. But when you then look at the projects that we get involved with and the designers that we work with, I think we are really, really,
I think
well known in the market.
I think we feel
and
quite
really strong.
lucky and almost humbled by it, and not to be boastful. I think we just try and do what we do, maybe stick our head below the parapet a little bit, and let the big boys battle against it, and we just do what we do best.
Yeah, and sitting here looking across the London skyline, I can see the walkie-talkie building in the background. We were involved in that with Maurice Brill. The Shard Tower, we were involved in, I think it's 36 floors out of 75 so a big majority with 3 different designers on the hotel, the restaurant, bars, and the residences. And so that just really gives you, a really good feeling looking out here, a company of our size that can get involved in these projects.
What would you say has been the most successful product launch of the last year, 2 years?
I don't know what to say. What do you think?
Well, it's got to be LED 50 for me.
Oh, well, as a product,
Yeah.
as an engine, but also as a fixture, I think the Plus.
The Plus,
which we designed for Jebel Omar in Mecca, with the incorporation with an American designer in Texas, Craig Roberts, and that we brought that out because he wanted something like that, and this is the point we work with light designers. If they want something we don't have, we have to think commercially, but also if we know that the project needs it, we'll do that. We'll take a bit of a risk.
Well, you've got to make it, design it, make it.
Yeah, we made it, we designed it, and in fact, what it turned out to be is one of our biggest sellers in recent times. Not just for that project, but everywhere. So
is that cost effective to do that?
Not always, but I think we just have to sometimes take a risk on the fact that the relationship that we have, the client wanting something that we want to do for them. This turned out very well. Not everything does, but that's, I guess.
So I mean, you will take the risk for the designer to give them what they need, even if sometimes it's not a loss, but obviously not making a great profit out of it.
Yeah.
But we're looking at the long term rather than just the short term
That's
effect.
been
that's the key, isn't it?
key for the whole success of Lucent as well. Listening to the designer, being flexible enough to actually give them a product they want. There may not be thousands involved in the actual project, but they remember it, and that helps us move on to the next project. As I said before, if we didn't do that, we weren't flexible enough, they just looked to someone else, maybe. And that over the 25 years has been a real key to how we've actually grown and stayed close to these clients. We tend not to say no too often, and we'll always try and help the client. The designer phones you up, and in a bit of a panic, we'll help them as much as we can. And I've got several instances right now that's happening where they haven't ordered, or they've got the wrong fittings, or can you give us a solution? We're there. We'll do as we can. Sometimes we do it on time. Sometimes we don't, but at least we're kind of seen to be helping the designer. Yeah, I think it's just helped us maintain our progression. Year on year we're growing as a company, and it's by just having a solution. There are jobs where we don't have to do anything, which is fantastic. We love those straightforward jobs, but the fact that we can help the client come to a solution, it helps. It bodes well for the future.
Where do you see Lucent now in the next 2, 3, 5 years?
It's difficult. I think just to keep doing what we do right. I think the problem is when you're a certain size company and you expand, sometimes there's kind of like gaps appear. We just want to make sure we keep doing what we're doing right. We want to kind of keep growing. But we are growing, internationally. We're doing lots of projects. Not that long ago, well, probably a year ago, we did the Louis Vuitton Foundation in Paris, which is an amazing gallery. So that's different, So, and in the States, into America as well, we're expanding there.
As I said, you look at the size of the company we are, although we have got a lot of employees now and we're worldwide, it's still not as big as some other companies. And the fact that we're still here, we're still strong.